Hello guys and welcome to Let's Talk. This is the show where I start the conversation on the things that you want to talk about. And today we're going to be talking about Microsoft and their 18,000 employee layoff. Wow. First thing you need to know about this is, according to Microsoft, they're trying to make Microsoft leaner and meaner than ever. And part of this is because they recently, if you guys don't know, bought Nokia, which brought over 32,000 employees from their side of things. So pretty much they're getting rid of half of that. But this is not just like they're getting rid of Nokia people, they're getting rid of key essential people within Microsoft. Even like Barnacules Nerdgasm, I think that's his username. I apologize if I got that wrong, someone will know. But he got laid off, and he was a really high-end respected dev that worked for Microsoft, made a decent amount of money, did a lot of work, and made lots of tools and resources that Microsoft will use for years to come, and he gets laid off, including his whole entire department. That has nothing to do with Nokia, and only has to do with making the future brighter and bigger than ever for Microsoft. So it really does question what Microsoft's saying and what's actually happening. And throughout the board, from what I've heard about these layoffs, that's exactly what's been happening. People that you would never imagine are getting laid off. Now, with the economy in America just starting to kind of creep back up, people have been afraid of these large corporations, and especially working for them, because they've been like these huge, what's the word I'm trying to look for that isn't a swear word? I don't know. But they've just been very mean and bad to people, especially when the economy took a tank and everyone was getting laid off and fired. What people have been trying to do to fix this is companies have been trying to go out of their way to make themselves look good in the public, and Microsoft just took a huge step backwards with this. People don't want to trust corporations, and as soon as we start trusting a little bit again, Microsoft does something like this, and honestly, possibly destroy the, I don't want to say overall economy in like Seattle, Washington, but I'm sure they just cooked it up a bit. And on top of all these employee cuts, which is really the big part of the story here, they've also cut $600 million worth of costs throughout the whole Nokia-Microsoft kind of merger thing. They're just cutting everything. Like non-essentials for Nokia, they're just kind of destroying, including like their video production center thing that Microsoft has. I'm not really sure what they all did, and that's probably why they're cutting it, but they're even cutting everything of that, and I would have to imagine that has to do with the Xbox One and the Xbox Live, marketplace and stuff like that. They're cutting just everything. What is going on, Microsoft? And according to PC World magazine, they're saying that this 18,000 employee layoff could just be the start of what Microsoft's planning. So this now gets into the speculation. Why is Microsoft doing this? And I do have a theory. If you think of it like basketball, and I'm not a huge basketball fan, so if I get something wrong here, I apologize. But you think of basketball. When a team wants a player, what do? They get rid of some of their other players, make sure they have the resources, the money for this new player that they really want. And I feel like Microsoft's doing that same thing. I feel like Microsoft wants something. They know what they want, and they want it. So what are they doing? They're getting rid of all non-essentials, and they're going to be purchasing something for a huge amount of money, or they're going to be putting all their money into a project or something like that. I feel like that's kind of what's happening, because a lot of this just doesn't make sense, especially because things recently for Microsoft have been going on the up and up. And, though the Windows side and people still don't fully like Windows 8 and 8.1 and that whole thing with the up and coming Windows 9, which I'm sure is still a few years down the pipe, things were looking a lot better. And from what devs and stuff were telling us, kind of just the very secretive stuff, it was looking pretty good. And if you're a tech person like me that's been an enthusiast with this, I've been following that pretty closely, and things have only been looking better for Microsoft. And then they do this. So I don't know. It's very weird to me, and it feels strange. And I have like a little tingle like right around here that just won't go away, and I don't think it's gas or anything. I really think it has to do with this Microsoft layoff thing. It doesn't sit with me right. There will be more details about the layoffs on July 22nd on the Microsoft's public earnings call, and I feel like it's going to be very important to cover that, which I think over on Let's Talk Live, which is the live version of this show, I will definitely be talking about that, and may have a specific show for that on the 22nd, because I feel like this is some of the most devastating news in technology in a long time, because as much as how this overly affects the average consumer, it may not overly concern or affect it, but it affects the geek in me hugely. And I'm a person that really likes Microsoft. I really do. I've never really had a huge problem with Microsoft, but now I do. Honestly, I have a worse image of Microsoft in my head right now than I do Apple. And I really hate Apple as a company. They make good products, but I hate Apple as a company. And right now, I very much dislike Microsoft as a company. Still think their products are iffy, but that's the thing. That's a key point right there. Apple's products are great. I will never deny that. I don't like them as a company. Now Microsoft, their public image in my mind is very hurt, and their products are not 100% always there. They've been okay. They've been getting better, but they've been a little subpar as well. So it's like now, where to go? And I will tell you one thing, Linux is looking pretty darn good right now. So I don't know. There is a lot more to talk about this. There's a lot more to discuss, but we just don't also have all the information. So I'm going to leave you kind of hanging here until we find out more information. So this may be a part 1 of a part 2 of Let's Talk. We'll see maybe if more information comes up next week. I do not know, but I will also definitely doing some type of live thing, either if not the 22nd, sometime after that when we find out more information, because this is very important to me. And if you're in the tech community, this should be very important to you as well, because this affects a lot of people. And if you're a tech enthusiast, you probably know people directly that have been affected by this. I know at least 3 or 4 people that have gotten laid off from Microsoft yesterday when this whole thing went down. So I want to apologize to those people that have worked their butts off to make it where they are. People that have been with Microsoft for 25 years, and this is how they get paid. So we will have to wait and see with all the other details. I hope you guys enjoyed this version of Let's Talk. There are kind of a few other versions of Let's Talk I am starting. There's a podcast version which hasn't officially been released yet, but hopefully next week that will be talked about a little bit further. And also, of course, check out Let's Talk Live, which this week we'll be talking about kind of what we talked about last week, which is the wearable technology like this Samsung Gear 2 right here. We'll talk about that on Let's Talk Live. So go check that out on the channel at Let's Talk's Live YouTube channel. Link will be down there. So thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next week.